You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, if you are a woman and an athlete, you should be thanking President Trump today. We all know, guys, that under the Joe Biden administration, which was the worst administration in the modern history of this country, folks, Biden was trying to destroy women's sports. Biden was actually trying to rewrite Title IX to include gender identity. And maybe people don't realize, guys, that how bad this would have been if Biden was able to get away with that. It would have ended women's sports. You would have had more and more men or males identifying as females, and that would be a wrap on women's sports. Now, President Trump said when he was campaigning, he was going to put a stop to this. Now, right before Trump actually got back into the White House, Biden actually dropped trying to amend Title IX. He couldn't do it. Actually, the Supreme Court already said he couldn't do it. And now President Trump has definitely put a death blow to Biden's radical change to Title IX. It's over with, folks. Trump has officially ended the trans invasion that would happen in sports. Now, there's still more work to do. Of course, we know that the House passed that bill to ban transgenders from women's sports in schools that actually get federal funding. I don't know yet if the Senate has actually voted on that, but if they do and they pass it, Trump no doubt will put that in law. But amending Title IX, folks, that would have did immense damage. The trans invasion would have been here and here to stay if the Supreme Court actually let Biden get his way. You would have had more Will Thomases identifying as women, Blair Brayton Fleming in volleyball, did a lot of videos on that person there. It would have gotten out of control, folks. But here we go. It is now over with. Trump has now put a stop to it, folks. Trump administration officially ends Biden's Title IX rewrite. And Biden threw in the towel, man, because he knew he couldn't change it. Why in the world would you actually want to put gender identity in there? All you need to do, guys, is pretty much say, you know what? I'm a man, but I really feel like a woman, and I want to compete against women. Now, a lot of sports leagues and governing bodies are actually taking steps to actually ban the transgenders from invading women's sports. LPGA Tour, swimming, cycling, everywhere. NCAA is the one that definitely needs to get their act together, though. But look here. It says the Trump administration has been on a relentless winning streak since the inauguration on January 20th, reeling off a string of impressive actions to enforce conservative priorities. Many of the absurdities of the Biden administration have been rapidly undone, with appointees taking rapid, decisive action to unwind progressive policies. And now that it stands to the rewrite of Title IX, that whoever was making decisions for Beijing Biden tried to ram through, that rewrite would have forced educational institutions to expand the definition of sex to include gender identity, an insane concept meant to protect and promote transgender ideology, and in this case, especially sports. Because that means, guys, men would have been able to go into female facilities and the women could have been unsafe if Biden got his way. Court struck it down, and on Friday, the new Department of Education sent a letter to schools across the country that Biden's ridiculous extremism is officially dead and buried. Quote, effective immediately, the letter states, the United States Department of Education Office of Civil Rights will enforce Title IX under the provisions of the 2020 Title IX rule, rather than recently invalidated 2024 Title IX rule. Accordingly, lawful Title IX enforcement includes inter alia, the definition of sexual harassment, the procedural protections owed to complaints and respondents, the provision of supported measures to complainants, school-level reporting processes, and the interpretation of sex to mean the objective, immutable characteristics of being born male or female as outlined in the 2020 Title IX rule. And by the way, guys, Trump actually wrote an executive order saying that the government will only acknowledge two sexes, male and female. And that just tells you, man, how ridiculous the times we're actually living in, where the president has to come out and mandate that there are only two sexes. This is crazy. I actually saw a clip, guys, where he had some left-wingers. They couldn't even tell you how many genders there were. Yeah, it's out of control. Some people believe it's 100, but most common thinking people believe it's 2. And almost nobody believes that men should be playing in women's sports and vice versa. Yeah. Look here. Acting Assistant Secretary of Civil Rights, Craig Traynor, issued a statement Friday explaining what the Trump administration did to undo Biden's abuses. Quote, the Biden administration's failed attempt to rewrite Title IX was an unlawful abuse of regulatory power and an egregious slight to women and girls. Under the Trump administration, the Education Department will champion equal opportunity for all Americans, including women and girls, by protecting their right to safe and separate facilities and activities in schools, colleges, and universities, Traynor said. Yeah, it is just complete common sense, guys, that men should not be invading women's sports in their spaces. We've been hearing for years now, guys, that women felt uncomfortable because they actually saw the junk of Will/Leah Thomas in the locker room. Yeah, they saw the full package, man, because this dude was allowed in their spaces. It's ridiculous. One girl said she had to go and change in the janitor's closet, and she felt good with that. She felt safe in a janitor's closet, folks. This is crazy. Women were told, if you don't like that you actually have a man in your female spaces during these sporting events, don't be a bigot. That's what they're telling them. Women will run off from their own spaces. How crazy is that, folks? How crazy is that? Sanity now is back in the White House. Wokeness is dying. And it should have never got to this point, guys. It should have never got to this point. I'm pretty sure, man, back in the 1970s when Title IX was actually put down on paper, I don't know if they were actually thinking that one day Title IX would be used to actually put men in women's sports. I'm pretty sure they weren't thinking that. But oh no, here in the woke times, man, wokeness is dying, no. Women had an invasion of men in their sports. If you would have told me this when I was a kid, guys, I would have thought you were crazy. I really would have. But I'm going to leave right there, guys. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.